Okay.
And
You remember where he was from?
yes, Virginia, around Richmond someplace.
Okay.
He spent his career as a doctor out in a suburb of Los Angeles, so he's still there, I think.
Okay.
In my crew, there's 3 of us that are still living, and he's one.
Okay.
I'm one, and the third one is the co-pilot who lives in northern Georgia.
Okay. He was the one that stayed in and retired. Did you say retired as a colonel? That guy
The
stayed
co-pilot
in?
did.
Co-pilot stayed in until he was a colonel?
Yeah, the navigator got out about when I did, I guess,
Okay.
whenever they let him out, and
Right.
he went to medical school, so.
Cool.
Uh,
All right. So you're into March of 45. Did you go on the Berlin March 45 mission? Does that
Well, I
sound
think that
familiar?
I went to Berlin once, and I guess I looked up in the list of things where we went, and I'm not sure we ever really did. So
Okay.
to give you an accurate answer, I'd have to look at the record,
Okay.
which is in the get it off of my computer, you know.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of other things that were significant in flying. We got shot up a few times and that sort of thing, but we managed to get back home okay.
Okay. Now again, that was always by flak.
Yes,
Yeah. Always by flak.
I could look ahead and I could see the flak, and I would say that I guess I was scared, but I kept telling myself, don't be scared, just do what you're supposed to keep doing
Okay.
and do it. So that's what I did.
Did you spend a lot of time sitting up in the top turret when you were flying?
I didn't spend any time sitting in the top turret because you didn't sit in the top
Oh, yeah,
turret,
that's right.
you
it's a
stood
stand.
up.
That's right. You stood up in it. There's no seat up
So
there.
I didn't have a place to sit.
Okay.
If
That's
something went wrong in the airplane, I had to go and fix it. So
right. Yeah. There's something to do. Now, did you have a lanyard for your parachute? Because I mean, normally, you know, the way I understand, the
yeah, I
parachute
didn't-
would clip onto your kind of a vest.
yes,
But you had the parachute on a lanyard all the time wherever
Yeah.
you went.
it was a heavy strap is what it was. It
yeah.
was a cloth strap
Okay. Yeah, I call them lanyards, like almost like your web belt material type.
because you always had it. You could jump out with it hanging there, and you could pull it on and attach
Yes,
it
sir.
if you wanted to.
Did you ever have to do that? Did you ever have to bail out of the crippled airplane?
Well, that's what they did. Yeah. On our 23rd mission, well, we got shot down. So
Okay. Do you remember where y'all were going to on that one?
yes, but I'm not. It's not in my head when I'm standing,
Okay.
sitting here
That's fine.
talking
Do you
about
remember
it.
the
So-
date, the actual date? It was March
Yes,
something?
March 23rd.
23rd. Mission number 23. Your 22nd mission.
Yeah.
45, okay. So you're heading somewhere. Had you gotten to the target zone yet?
Yes, we'd gone through that. We dropped our bombs, and we were still in the flak,
Okay.
heavy flak area.
Do you remember, were you in a high, middle, or low formation? Do you remember which one you were in?
No, I can't tell you that either.
Okay, that's fine.
But I can tell you that we got hit by, very close by flak, and it knocked out, I think it knocked out 2 engines, but I'm not sure about that.
Do you remember how many flak hits you actually got?
Well, just one, but it was
Just
up
one.
there pretty close.
Okay.
Uh,
So knocked out 2 engines on one side of the plane?
I'm thinking that we knocked out 2, but it might have been only one.
Alright.
I was in the top turret and looking around, and I looked at the vents in the wing, air vents, and I learned in Amarillo Mechanic School, when you're flying and you saw smoke coming out of those vents, it's parachute time.
Okay.
It was to Hengsty.
What?
Hengsty.
Hingsty?
Yes,
mission
that
was
sounds
to
right.
Hingston.
Yeah, it was a little industrial town on a lake south of Duisburg, I think, is the
Okay.
name of the big town close by.
And the day before you had been to Frankfurt.
Yes,
All right. So you've gone through the bomb zone, you dropped your bombs, target, and you're still getting out with the flak still hitting you. And then you get kind of a direct hit, hit your plane.
it had to be close to direct.
Okay.
Um,
They're very accurate by that. They're very accurate. So, yeah.
Well, apparently not, but every once in a while they're lucky.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go.
I mean, it's a long way up there.
Yes, sir. Because y'all are at 30,000 feet, right? About, you
Oh,
think
probably
25
more
to
like
30?
25,000 at that
25,000?
time, yeah.
Okay.
Because as soon as we dropped the bombs, we tried to reform into a group, well, to make sure that we're supposed to still be in a good, close group, but
Okay.
maybe we're not quite, you understand?
Yes,
But,
sir.
the leader of the group tries to get people back in close.
Okay. Well, because there's a lot, I understand there's a lot of kind of a carnage going on with the flak and planes getting hit, flying out of formation because they're hit, and you got planes trying to avoid those guys. And so, yeah, I understand
Yeah,
it gets a little disheveled up there right over the target zone. So then you got to marshal back again. Were you able to marshal back with your group?
well, I don't know that we were completely doing that. It was shortly after bombs away.
Okay.
Anyhow, I saw smoke coming out of this vent, and that told me there was a fire that got back to the fuel tank.
Okay.
Because behind the engine wall, behind the engine, there was a aluminum wall that the fire couldn't get through.
Okay.
And so that when we saw the smoke, it meant that there was a hole or something in there.
Okay.
So the fire from the bad engine was getting back and burning up the fuel in the fuel tank.
Okay.
Which
That's a
meant
bad
that,
deal.
Which meant that the airplane was going to blow up. So,
Right. Right.
So you get out, everybody gets out. So
Okay.
anyhow, I ducked down and I opened up the bomb bay door, and it was all flame in there, just all fire. So I slammed the door shut,
Okay.
and I told the pilot and the co-pilot that it was all over, and that we were going down. And that was not new news for them. They knew it already,
Okay.
you know, by that time. They told me to go and jump out, so I did. I thought maybe the navigator and the toggler had already gone, but I don't remember. I remember that the door was open, the nose hatch door
Okay.
was open.
Okay.
It wasn't there anymore. You pulled the hinge pins out and just kicked the door, and it went out flying.
Oh, okay.
You don't need it anymore,
Right.
you know.
Just in the way, because it flaps into the wind, so to speak, right?
Yeah,
Seems like because the latch is aft of the, so you, okay. All right, so that front nose door is gone.
well, so I guess I didn't look up to see about them.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. That was
Right.
part of my job, but I didn't do that. I just assumed they were gone, I
Yeah, you
guess.
figure that door is already open, they've already apparently
Well,
gone.
I found out from the toggler, his name was Bennett, I said that before.
Yes, sir.
That he was unconscious because he had lost his oxygen,
Oh, okay.
and that the navigator put him on oxygen and brought him back, or else he would have died up there before the airplane got down on the ground.
Okay.
Anyhow, I was by myself there, and I just sat on the edge there with my feet dangling, and I don't know whether I prayed or what, but I sat there for contemplating for probably 5 seconds, and I remember that. And then I just went ahead and dumped myself out.
Okay,
I put my parachute on my chest the way that it ought to be,
all right,
so it was already there. And I jumped out and I fell for a long distance. We were told that for your safety, the best thing to do is to don't open your chutes right away and just drop down, and when you can see the windows in the houses, then you can open your chute, and that might be around 5,000 feet. So
okay,
anyhow, I went down a long way, and I think I went down quite a bit farther than the rest of my crew, because I think they probably opened their chutes as soon as they got out,
okay,
which was at an altitude where they might need oxygen, really.
right.
At least they would be low on oxygen before they got down to where the air was.
Would they jump out with their portable oxygen bottles?
Well, they recommended that
Yeah.
if you're up in that kind of an altitude, yeah.
Okay.
And unless you're gonna float down without the parachute. If you're worried about the parachute and you wanna have 2 jerks on it instead of 1, I mean 2 chances instead of 1,
Yeah,
maybe you open it a little sooner. But,
okay,
you didn't want to have German airplanes shooting at you either,
right,
or ground people shooting at you. So you wanted to be in the air for a very short time.
okay. So you waited a pretty good distance before you
I
popped yours up.
think that I waited quite a bit longer than the rest of them
Okay.
did.
Do
So.
you remember seeing how many actually, by the time we were in your situation where it is, you were able to see how many chutes had popped
No,
up?
I didn't
You're
know
busy
that.
just looking at the ground?
I might have been the first one out of the airplane, which the co-pilot told me, get down there and jump out.
Good out.
Get out now, he
Right.
said.
And you're very compliant at
He
this point.
said I was a pretty miserable kid.
Yeah,
He's not much older than me, you know.
yeah, yes, sir.
He said you were standing there with the little bottle of fire extinguisher that was right on the back of the cabin there.
Yes, sir.
I had that, and I was standing there and telling them that the airplane was on fire and they're gonna go down. He laughed about
You're gonna put it
that.
out with that little fire extinguisher, I take it.
I was gonna really take care of it, you know. And he laughed about that,
Yeah,
but not then, you understand, but, anyhow, that's what happened.
okay,
I got down there and I landed it was in a forest, kind of.
you were able to clear the trees?
The parachute was caught in the tree, and I think that I got down so my feet were on the ground, or at least almost,
Okay,
and so I could get out, but I couldn't get the parachute out, and I couldn't hide it, which was kind of an important thing to do.
okay,
And I couldn't do that, but I got down and started running away.
okay,
And I ran as fast as I could and as far as I could. I had to stop and relieve myself a couple of times in all of that,
okay.
but I kept going.
Now, did you see any of your crew members at all?
No.
Not at all, so you're pretty much on your
I
own.
had no idea what happened. I was told later on that everybody got out of the airplane okay. And so the airplane was by itself for a while, and it finally blew up, exploded.
Okay.
And,
Were you able to see that, or it was long gone?
no, I didn't see it.
Okay, so it was long gone by the time that happened. Okay.
Well, I didn't look for it either. I
You're a little busy.
I was worried about getting away,
Okay.
you know.
All right. So you running through the forest? Are you still
Yeah.
in the forest area? Okay.